What is going on, Philadelphia? Live from the Xfinity Studio. Welcome to another episode of the Cheap Seats Podcast right here on PHLY. Boys and girls, winners. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was last week's intro. I apologize, but the same still applies as we went down there to Tampa Bay and secured the dub to remain the only unbeaten team in the NFC this year. What we should be talking about right now is the Birds being unbeaten, the finally breaking the jinx against the Bucks. You know, the special teams, once again, blocking another kick. Jalen Hurts in the offense, struggling in the second half, but finding a way to win. Maybe some injuries, maybe some offensive line concerns coming up. But hey, listen, and that's all coming up on this show. But I had to wait to decide what I was going to say in the open until about 4:30 today, when was a absolute clown show of reporters around A.J. Brown's locker for a tweet that he put out on Sunday. And we're going to get into that talk. What we should be talking about is this Birds team continuing against the Denver Broncos and continuing to defend the Super Bowl championship and continuing to grow as a team. What we're dealing with now is a little bit of adversity early on in the season. We're going to get into all of that. But Mr. Jason Ashworth, we missed you last week, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if you missed me, but I'm good.
Oh, we missed you.
I'm glad to be back in the seat. I'm glad to be back in the saddle, if you will. And I feel like I missed a lot. So I'm eager based on what you kind of laid out there. I'm eager to jump into it.
Black Gritty, how are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm I don't know about the clown show reporters. When you request the clown show to show up, they show up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the one time I don't want to hear that anyone else did this. No one else did this. AJ Brown did this. So you said clown show. Well, I'm sorry. When you request clowns in Philadelphia, they show up. The clowns were requested. And they waited 3 days to circle for the conversation.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
I'm going to walk it back a little. I shouldn't have called it a clown show.
You shouldn't have called it a clown show.
As I was talking, and
normally you're right. Normally that's the way we feel.
I should have said circus.
Circus.
When you invoke the circus, out come the clowns. Not that any of the beat reporters are clowns. Please don't get misconstrued me. That's not what I'm getting off to. Right?
It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that.
I don't make enemies on this show. I try to make friends.
Okay.
But nevertheless, yes, when you invite it to your front door, that's what ends up happening. And A.J. Brown coming out and subtweeting, listen, I can understand the frustration. If this was Terrell Owens, if this was Randy Moss, if this was any other quote, Chad Johnson, if this was any other quote unquote diva wide receiver, which I don't think A.J. Brown is a diva. But if this was any other big name, future Hall of Fame, in the Hall of Fame, throw me the ball, I need to touch the ball, give me the ball type of wide receiver, they'd be feeling some sort of way too. And it's understandable just from a human nature standpoint where A.J. Brown's coming from. Listen, limited opportunities, and the opportunities that he did have, not exactly quality opportunities. Here's A.J. Brown, 4 games into the season, 14 receptions, 151 yards, and 1 tutty. It's not very A.J. Brown numbers. And you know that he can help this offense every time they go to him. He helps the offense. A.J. Brown's just one of those guys that needs a little loving up on him. Some old school Doug Peterson. Dude, you are still the man. Dude, you are still an integral part of this team. And you can see the coaches saying that during the week. But when the quality of the balls being thrown his way are either overthrown, and they were, or in the coverage where he wasn't getting separation, which he wasn't, or they were blitzing and he goes to a check down and goes to somebody else when he was the primary read. I can understand the frustration. I think everybody in the room, including Andrew, who's producing today, thank you very much. Don't tweet that crap out. Keep that stuff in-house.
So the whole, yes, right? We'll start it with yes. in terms of I agree with your premise, and I agree, Gritty, in terms of the circus, and he called for it himself. The whole situation, for me anyway, the whole situation annoys me for 3 distinct reasons. Agree or disagree, fair enough. First being, we all got issues. We all got problems. We all feel a certain way. I don't like going to social media, right? He brought the circus on himself. He needs to know better, especially at this point as a professional athlete, as a leader on that team. Dude, you don't go to social media, right? And he's got a track record of doing that.
Right.
That's the first thing. So I don't condone that and understand why the circus is. That's annoying that it keeps happening. Secondly, you mentioned it. The response to him going to social media, or the response to the words, even though we know he's just frustrated, even though that, look, we get it, right? We all see the same thing. We understand what he's trying to say. They want to label him as a diva. And when I hear A.J. Brown as a diva, or, hey, we got to trade this guy, or these conversations coming up, that confuses me because I'm old enough to remember sit-ups in a driveway.
Yeah.
Right? That's a diva.
Yeah.
I remember guys like Antonio Brown ripping his shirt off, quitting on his team in the middle of the game.
Wow.
That's a diva. Stephon Diggs throwing his hands up, showing up Josh Allen in the middle of a game. Yeah, we can't be doing that type of stuff. Tyreek Hill said, "I'm done." Calling his coach and his quarterback to the carpet. Like, those are things where I would look back and I'd say, yeah, see, nah, we can't have that. And that's not A.J. Brown. So let's not put him in that category. But the third thing that bothers me is where we get to this circus, right? We know he's frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
We know that any of us, we're all frustrated at times. We've all got emotions that we got to deal with. It is a clown show. It is a circus, one that he brought on himself. But when these hens circle around the locker, waiting and trying to create, he shouldn't have said it. We know it, or he shouldn't have implied it and created the innuendo. Is it a problem? Should it be a problem? Might it be a problem? Why is it not a problem? Oh, what do you mean by this? What do you say by that? We're trying to create more than what it really is. How many times when you get angry, you get frustrated, we all say things that we probably shouldn't have said in the moment, that maybe we were just blowing off some steam. And if you said that to some of your friends or some of your colleagues and they made you go through the riot act or were asking you a million questions about it versus just, no sweat, dude, I get it. You were frustrated, move on. It can't be that way. And now it's like this scab that everybody in the city just has to pick.
Right.
Brought it on himself. 100%. He owns it and he has to take responsibility for that. But for me, it's annoying when he does it because I know what comes from it. And that's everybody's got to write a damn story about it. And for me, it's just too much.
It's too much. Gritty.
So, respectful of everything you just said and you said, it's total crap to me. A.J. Brown, first of all, thank you for being a diva. A diva is what he is. He's a number one wide receiver that wants the ball. Sitting in your driveway is insanity. Ripping your jersey off is insanity. That's more than being a diva. I can marry a diva and have a wife at home that's mad that I broke the ribs. Okay? He's a diva 100%. He has the right to be. He also did everyone a huge favor because if not, we'd be drilling on Patullo. Or we'd be saying, did Jalen Hurts get a concussion when he hit his head off the turf? And that's why he went 0 for 8 in the second half. So he basically saved the team by not talking to anybody and letting Philadelphia have their drama and letting the national media have their drama instead of saying, hey, you went 2 whole quarters without doing nothing again. So thank you, A.J. Brown, for being a diva and taking the shit on the shoulder. You put out a Bible quote. Even the Lord couldn't save you, AJ. So I'm just saying, keep doing what you're doing. If you got to read a book, if you got to say something, because literally every single fan of Philadelphia, happy with the win, upset with the performance. So yes, he feels that way. His compadre doesn't say anything. He's a Southern boy through and through wearing these slick ass suits from the 50s looking like a mafioso mobster. He's not going to say nothing. Real G's moving silent. So AJ's got to speak up. He's got to say something. Because if not, then Patullo, did you get the message? Last thing I'll say too is, AJ, you're always open, bro. But that was your worst game of separation. The Bucs get played to pay football too. Todd Bowles is no joke. We've scored 9 points against him multiple times. Now, granted, AJ wasn't there and he wasn't healthy, but they get paid to play the game. So, AJ, I fully understand you being upset, but, bro, they had you locked down. Jalen Hurts, look at Baker Mayfield. Now, I know everybody wants to be on Baker Mayfield's jock, but he was throwing the Bakuba Scuba 92 times against Mitchell. And you don't throw at Mitchell. But he did because he knew that was his guy and that was his only option. So don't wait till the second half when you're a little dazed and confused and locked in looking like Dak Prescott asking where's CeeDee Lamb like there's nobody else on the field. And again, AJ, you weren't really open and you didn't use your hands to catch the ball like you do. Everybody else that got targets caught every single pass that went their way except for one. You didn't get any of your targets. So again, thank you, AJ, for pulling the distraction to pull from the real issues that are at hand. Kevin Patullo, first quarter of the season's over, and you're about to have a grace period this month, and you're gonna feast, and you're gonna feel good. I don't feel good about you until November. Thank you, AJ.
And I'm glad you said that because that's part of my frustration with the overall situation. We're over here talking about a subtweet, a cryptic tweet, right? We're over here talking about A.J. Brown's frustration when the reality is, and that's why I get annoyed at the hens around the locker. We all know the real story that should be written. We all know the real questions that should be asked. And it's not about, hey, are you happy here in Philadelphia? Oh, hey, what did you really mean by that? What's your communication like with coach and your OC? I want to know what's wrong with the offense, right? And that's with my OC. I want to know what the hell is wrong with the offense and how it can look one way in one half against the Rams and come out and look like gangbusters in the first half against the Bucks. But then there's just this dichotomy, or just this Jekyll and this Hyde, this polar opposition. I want to know what's going on with the offense. That's what I want to know. But instead, we're talking about a guy who's frustrated about the offense when we're all frustrated about the offense. So for me, that's what pisses me off about the whole situation.
And it's 100%. It's something that I had written down, and it's something to kind of elaborate on. Like, listen, if we're not talking about A.J. Brown for the last,
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
3 days. When we come in here to do the show, what's the open? What's your open? What's your open?
Like I said,
what do we say? What's the narrative? What's the narrative coming into? Like that aside, because it's taken up so much of our headspace. What's the narrative coming into this week?
Thank you, AJ Brown. That's what the coaches should be saying.
Yeah, right.
That's what the coach. Nick Sirianni, that's the first question you got asked. Patullo, that's the first question you got asked. Jalen Hurts, that's the first question you got asked. Like, they should all be saying thank you. Because
Look
the
over here.
performance,
Look over here.
man.
Look over
like
here.
I said, you said circus. I'm like, the circus requested. He actually did them a favor. And I've listened to every single show, every single podcast, and they want to talk about this, talk about that. First of all, AJ Brown costs too much money. He's not getting traded. Okay? That's one thing.
Agreed.
One thing he might be upset about is not hitting his incentives. I don't know what his incentive package is, but I know how he loves to put that stuff in there. And my boy's looking at his money like, I ain't gonna get my $5 million bonus. You've been to 3 Pro Bowls. You've been all-pro 3 years. You came from the Tennessee Titans. You think he doesn't know if Howie flips him, he's not going to the Jags or the Jets, and you think you're going to catch more balls or lift your career up? He just wants the offense to do what they know it can do. But again, we're not talking about Dickerson playing through pain and injury. We're not talking about Lane Johnson getting dinged and coming in and out of the game all the time. And somebody said the most disrespectful thing to me the other day. They're like, Lane Johnson's starting to look like the bodyguard. I almost threw up on my phone, but he's starting to get older. We're not talking about Mekhi Becton not being there and Steen there. We're not talking about Saquon Barkley averaging 3 yards a carry. Thank you, A.J. Brown. Everybody mad at A.J. A.J. Brown saved the Philadelphia Eagles from real conversations for a week going against the Denver Broncos. So everybody's been talking trash about AJ, and you feel like mad about a diva and wide receivers this and wide receivers that. Shut the LL Cool J up and say thank you, AJ Brown, because we got a whole lot of stuff to fix, and we're 4-0.
That's a hell of a perspective and a hell of a take. It's something walking in here that I didn't even think about.
Nobody thinks about it. I'll do this thing. I'm like, we like you said, we haven't talked about anything that matters.
The real problem.
And that's the one grace about our show's late, right? So we don't do the show on Tuesday, so you lose a bit of a day. But by Wednesday, we can all calm down and take in everything. But no, everyone's talking about A.J. Brown,
bro, and
nobody's talking about what we really need to be getting done.
And now today, as of 4:30, the shows are written for tomorrow because now everyone's going to talk about the apology.
Yep.
And it's just another day where we don't have to talk about the X's and O's, or another day that we don't have to talk about the get right. It's wild to me. And now that's just my perspective.
And
right?
They never explain anything. I got you. They never explain anything. He never says anything. Who is it for? Who did it meant for?
Yeah.
Who did you say it to?
I'm the meme king.
Yeah.
Come on. Who you kidding?
Look, and again, A.J. Brown doing these things is the nicest kind of diva thing that we could possibly do.
Sure.
It's the most positive diva thing we could do. So again, I know what you were saying, but I'm like,
yeah, he's a diva. You're right.
You started rambling off the stuff,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's
insane.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's the Keyshawn Johnson throw me the damn ball right in the ball.
Yeah.
Like that stuff.
Comparatively speaking to what we label diva wide receivers to be, he ain't that. But I agree with you.
If your number one receiver doesn't want the ball, he's not a number one wide receiver.
Correct.
Yeah, period. End of discussion. Andrew's got the apology. Not so much an apology, but a statement.
Yeah,
a statement from AJ Brown. Let's take a quick listen.
Obviously, Sunday after the game, I let my frustrations boil over. I didn't speak to the media. I had a chance to correct my frustrations, and I continue to let it boil over. That's on me, and I take full accountability on it. My message on Twitter wasn't directed at anyone in the building. Of course, I'm a quarterback, GM, nobody, So I take full accountability. I have open communication with all my coaches and with my quarterback as well. Me and my coaches, KP, Nick, we discuss weekly about trying to stay on the same page.
What are your frustrations?
I think it's normal to have frustrations because of the standard that we hold ourselves to, and we have a lot of talent on offense, and to be honest, defense and special teams have been low-key carrying us, and it's just like we need to clean up what we need to clean up and get on the same page, and play to the ability that we say that we can and be who we are called to be. So it's a standard that we preach, and so it's easy to have that frustration. I think it's fair to have that frustration, but like I said, I just can't let that boil over.
Based on the content of that tweet, it seemed like maybe you were feeling like you weren't being listened.
And there it is. There's the apology. Hopefully that's the end of it, and we can just kind of move on. All discussions that need to be had in-house stay in-house, and then we just move on. He copped to it. He admitted it. He said that I brought this upon myself,
and he's gonna do it again.
100%.
You really think so?
100%.
He's going to do it again. What I just told you, he's going to do it again. And him doing it is the best thing for the Philadelphia Eagles because everybody else on the team totes that BG line. We're going to be all right. We're going to be okay. I watched you lose 6 games in a row while everybody told me everything was going to be okay. And the only person that was telling the truth and went bad every week was A.J. Brown. That's his job. Somebody got to keep it real.
So
Speaking of jobs.
Let me just hold on one second, but let me wrap this up. Let me wrap this up and then we'll pay some bills. There are certain guys sometimes on teams you have to just let them be them. Right? Some guys need a little pat on the back and some guys need a hug and some guys you just need to let be their authentic self. And that's A.J. Brown. And that's where I say 100%. This is going to happen again because that's his release. That's his method. It just is. And his teammates know it. His coaches know it. Apparently the media doesn't know it. But at some point there are certain guys you just got to let them be them. And this is who A.J. Brown is. And he's worth it. How about that?
And he's worth it. Speaking of which, let's do our job and pay some bills here.
All right, whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. Check out the brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff, interesting, and Fireblaze in the Sky Queen, even more interesting, at BetParx exclusive. The only app I ever used to play all my favorite casino games in the palm of my hand. Play blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat. And hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra online slots. Play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows like Walking Dead, Squid Game, Breaking Bad, and Peaky Blinders, and all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. New users get up to $1,000 casino bucks back. If you're down in the first 24 hours, go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play, you love to win, you bet BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This ad is for TrueMark. Fall is here, which means the kids are back to school, hanging with friends, enjoying after-school activities, or maybe even picking up a fall or school season time job. The perfect time to set them up with something that teaches them real-world money skills and gives them a little freedom. The Greenlight debit card and money app. If you're a TrueMark financial member, You can get a free Greenlight account for your kids or teens. Valuable lessons they're learning here. It's a simple way for them to manage their own money, whether it be from a job, an allowance, birthday cash. They'll get their own debit card, can set savings goals, track spending, and learn how to budget, all while you stay in the loop right there from your phone. You're still in control, but they get to learn how money really works in everyday life. But so before the fall season comes to a close, and while they're kicking in the school school gear, this is a great way to help your kids build smart money habits that will stick with them long after the school season is over. Head over to truemark.com/greenlight. Get all the details and sign up today. Don't miss the chance to set your children up for their own financial success.
That's a hell of a read.
That was a hell of a read for just blindly reading it. Y'all know I can't read. Y'all know. Y'all know I can't read on the fly. So
One day.
Right? I thought
right?
these ad reads were going to like my Hooked on Phonics.
Yeah.
Sort of penny, like the Hooked on Phonics jar for E-Rock.
Yeah.
ABC 1, 2, 3.
So coming out of Tampa, which by the way was hot as hell. I'll talk about the game.
That's right. You went down there.
Yes,
He did go down there.
yeah, and Gritty's still bitter about it.
Why is that?
Well,
I was before the season started. I was looking at places to go. He usually goes to Tampa. I got friends down there. Got a couple ladies down there. I was like, "Yo, E, you going to Tampa?" He's like, "I'm not going this year. It was out of there last year. I'm not even going." So I was like, "Well, not that I don't have other people to go see, but if I was gonna go sit at the game, I was like, let me go with my boy because I know he be going." Nah, we sit here last week on Wednesday. Flights is $9,000. He's like, "Yeah, well, you know, I'm about to go down to the game," and I was like, "What do you mean about to go down to the
this
game?"
is what I do. Actually, this is what I do.
That's what he did when I started grilling him. I was like, "What you mean you go?" He's like, "Well, I didn't mean to." And so what happened was, because of that,
Where my bank account set up.
yeah, right? But it was hot. I saw people hiding in the breezeway, so I didn't mind missing it that bad. But
Dude, I don't know how they do it down there. I don't know how they do it down there. And of course Tampa's going to take the road whites, right? So they're going to be a little cooler. They're out there in their midnight greens, just sweat. I am soaked head to toe, just sitting in the stands. Which, by the way, I love Raymond James Stadium. I know people are kind of like on the whole like pirate ship thing, and it's really your typical early 2000s stadium.
Okay.
So it's built from the same cloth as Andrew, can you check when was Raymond James Stadium built? I bet you it was around the same time as Lincoln Financial Field, and they don't call it Heinz Field over there in Pittsburgh.
no. What is it called
M&T
now?
Bank Stadium.
Acrisure? Is it Acrisure or something?
Yeah, they're all kind of cut from the same cloth.
Raymond James was built in 1996.
1996.
It's a 96 baby.
So not cut from the same cloth.
Not cut from the same cloth, but very same feel as far as the open end zones and whatnot in the Pirate. It really is a cool place. Cool being not exactly the appropriate word for the weather down there.
Right.
But it really is. If you've never been to Raymond James Stadium, you can go buy a ticket. Trust me, their fans ain't showing up.
Just do it
that
December or
was
January.
50-50 split.
if it wasn't more than 50-50.
It was so I've been down there when it's been a third Eagles fans, a third Bucks fans, and a third completely empty.
Okay.
That stadium was packed. But if you go to my Instagram feed or really anybody else that was down there, whoever it might be, they're just showing it is just a sea of green.
I did my reaction video in a Santa hat because it looked like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
It was just green and red, green and red, green and red everywhere. So
And after doing the walk of shame so many times going out of that stadium and having to listen to Bucks fans just chirp in your ear when they can't fill out their own stadium or allow takeovers like that, it was good to just kind of get that revenge and start hearing them, give it to them just as hard as they gave it to us.
You almost walked out there again.
Cumulatively.
You almost walked out of there again.
So, okay, tale of two halves again, because in the Rams game, right, the first half, my intro last week was like, I don't know what the hell was happening in the first half, and they kicked it in gear to the second half. Now they're having a hell of a first half, blocking kicks, everything looks great, and then I don't think Jalen Hurts completed a pass that entire second half.
0 for 8.
0 for 8. Every time they took the field in the fourth quarter, you look at it and go, all right, boys, here comes one of those 7 to 9 minute dagger in the heart, bleed out the clock. You have no chance of coming back because and we're 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're 3. And so when you take a look at this offense, what is your biggest problems with this offense, the way you guys see it?
Design. Honestly, And I know that's such a generic thing to say right now, because the reality is I can sit here and I can say design. And if you want me to start breaking down the X's and O's, I mean, I'm ignorant. I'm not going to know the level of detail that goes into the offense that they run, because I'm not like, I have no idea, right? But you look at it and the concepts are so basic. They're so simple. There seems to be no creativity. There seems to be almost like a stubbornness, even when they were trying to feed AJ the ball, right? In the second half, it's like, okay, let's get AJ.
Let's get him going.
It was, you didn't scheme him open. You didn't have like a package that said, hey, this is how we get 11 involved. It was just, hey, double covered or not, stick, like if they're bumping him or not, he's getting the ball. Like, I know it pre-snap, that's where this ball is going. So for me, it's just the offensive line is a problem. And when you can't run the ball, it makes you one-dimensional, and that's a problem. But ultimately, from a passing game perspective, it just seems like they shut it off. They just completely check out or go into such a vanilla offense, because it wasn't vanilla in the second half against the Rams, and it wasn't vanilla in the first half against the Bucs. But in those other halves, I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Do you have any cash on you?
Oh, you want it?
Do you have any cash?
I don't. I don't carry cash.
Do you have any cash?
I think I might.
Oh, boy, here we go.
We play some bets. What do we do? I do not. I lied.
You don't?
I do not.
Let me check it. Let me see what.
Oh, boy.
So
Something smart.
he didn't have any cash, but he still gave me his wallet. You know why? Because I asked confidently for it. They need fucking balls. I'm sorry for cussing. I shouldn't have done that. They have no balls. In the first half, they came out with their strategy. They did what they needed to do. And then what happens? When things go wrong, they start getting scared and they pucker up. You see it in two halves, 2 times in a row. Be consistent. Now, I know the real answer of why it looked bad in the second half. I really think when Jalen went down, the guy didn't hit him in the head, but you see his head bang off the carpet. And if you watch it 4 times, he got it really slow and somebody yanked him off the ground. It's 100 degrees. The sun sets on the side of the bench of the away team. It's hot. And guess what? He only threw to A.J. Brown. If he would have thrown to anybody else, I'd have been like, oh, well, maybe he was foggy in the brain. He's hot. Guess what? All your IVs, all the things you prepared for, all the ice baths, everything. That works for first half.
Right.
But then when you go sit down for 15 minutes, you come back in that sweltering heat, and you got dudes all over you. And again, Todd Bowles knows how to coach football. He knows defense. He's a defensive specialty. So the same way we made adjustments against the Rams, they made adjustments against us. And people, the other thing too, we don't have a pass rush. Okay? If I hear one more person tell me, oh, Makuba let up that big touchdown, and I can't believe Campbell fell down. Well, scramble drill, bro. How long can anybody cover anybody? He got to run around the backfield for 10 seconds. I'm sorry that he gave up a 70-yard play. That usually doesn't happen to us. But again, it's hot. Guys get tired. They get sweaty. Jordan Davis, you've been looking great. Carter, you've been a little bit out of shape. That he got to him. But they still found a way to win the game. But everything from top to bottom, the heat hit him. And I really think Jalen was dinged up. And nobody wants to say it because nobody wants to have him pulled out of games for concussion stuff. But when have you ever seen him only throw to one person over and over and over again? Like, he's like, all I can do is know where AJ is. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, again, I said, you can't run the ball. Dickerson's not healthy. I know he's not 100%. He can't be. Came back really quick from that knee. Yeah, I mean, knee tweak.
Meniscus, right?
Steen is not Becton. He's not moving people out of the way. And Lane Johnson's in and out of the lineup. So I'm sorry, guys. We just got to find a way to win.
Well, and look, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So as much as we bitch and moan, and for all the flaws that we want to talk about, we want to say, hey, you know, they're not getting any pressure on defense, or hey, they can't run the ball, and that offense is not creative, and it just looks methodical and vanilla. Whatever reason you want to say or complain about this team, bro, they beat a rival on opening night who had every reason to spoil that banner. They beat the defending Super Bowl champion, the AFC champions, and a team that wanted to make a statement in a revenge game, despite not playing their best football. They went and beat the Chiefs. And then they beat the Rams, a team who we all thought, and the entire league said, oh, there's your competition in the NFC. And then they went and beat an undefeated team down in Tampa where they were 1-4 their last 5 games. And we're sitting here complaining and bitching and moaning about they can't do this, they won't do that, this looks bad. And they're 4-0. They're 4-0. So for you to go 4-0 in that schedule with these problems, don't let them get it right. Don't let them get right. But I will say, for everything that they don't have a pass rush, you're right, and they can't run the football, were right. It's the lines. That's their problem right now. It's the lines. On the offensive side, between Dickerson, Cam, and Steen, they've allowed 26 pressures. That IOL is a problem right now. We know, and then on top of that, Lane's been banged up the last 2 games.
Right.
So that line is not blocking, and defensively, they're not getting pressure after the quarterback. That's where you win and lose football games. They haven't gotten it right, but damn it, they're 4-0.
Todd Bowles was bringing a lot of pressure, man.
Sure.
A lot of pressure. And one of the criticisms that we had against, let's say, the 2023 team, right? Because I for the last 3 days, it's been the devil and the angel on my shoulder. And the angel's on my shoulder and going, hey, bud, don't worry. This is just like 2024, where, listen, not every win's going to be pretty. Sometimes they're gritting it out against bad teams, but they're not playing bad teams, dude.
Right.
They're playing, like you said, division rivals, defending AFC champion, the team that took you to the wire in the playoffs, the team that has had your number, 4 out of the last 5 times, and for some reason is kryptonite, even though they're on paper, you can argue they're a lesser team. They're playing good teams. Not everything is going to look the way it's supposed to. But then like the 2023 monster comes out and goes, yeah, they're winning and they should be happy. They're winning and they should be happy. Does anybody look happy right now? Oh my God. Oh, a coordinator that's never called plays before, that was an in-house candidate. Oh my God. Like the
Nick
2023 gremlin all of a sudden starts peeking over my shoulder and whispering in my ear, they should have kept Becton. They should have signed that guy, even though they're strapped for cash, because he would have been better. All that stuff starts to come out, and I'm juggling in my head like, am I 2024 on this because all that AJ stuff happened then and we got over it? Or am I 2023 on this because the coordinators and the offensive scheme, and what are we doing here?
We're game 5. The other thing that I don't like that you said, that everyone says, especially radio and everybody who talks about content, everybody keeps talking about the Super Bowl and this team can't play like this, win the Super Bowl. I got 3 months to even worry about that. I got to worry about today.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I like about Nick and Jalen, that they always say, day by day, get better, one day at a time, day by day, get better. Everybody else keeps saying, if you play like this, you won't win a Super Bowl. Well, I had to hear all that last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jalen came out and threw the ball all over the world in games where it's like, well, if they shut down Saquon, what's he going to do? Well, he did it. So right now, to your point of what you were saying, is they play 4 teams this year that didn't make the playoffs last year. And 2 of those teams are the Giants and the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else that they're playing is in the postseason. And guess what? Everybody else wants to go to the dance with the sexy girl. And their only chance to do it is to beat up a rival that means something. They're out there every week playing their Super Bowl, trying to show America, we can compete too. We too are contenders. That's why the Rams went home crying, because all they wanted for their confidence was, that's no game if Jalen Carter would have. That's why I put ifs. If. I'm like, Drew Brees, I don't know what you have against the Philadelphia Eagles, but you are insane, bro. If CeeDee Lamb would have caught the ball, well, 3 passes before that, if Mitchell would have caught the interception, the game would have been over. My point is that they're playing tough teams that get rock hard solid every Sunday, thinking they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and they all happen to be playoff teams. The Buffalo Bills are winning the AFC. They have the easiest schedule in the league. Yep. And they were almost tied with the Saints because they're bored. So right now, every week's going to look like this until we get to, like I said, the rest of this month. Denver's coming in, and then they're going to run 9,000 yards on the Giants. Everybody's like, oh, we're back. Mm-hmm. And then Carson's going to come here and throw 4 picks. They're like, oh, we're back. And then we get to play the Giants again. I don't know what to think about. Like I said, by the time November comes, I don't know what's real or what's not, but I know we're going to look good. I know we're going to feel good, and hopefully that confidence carries over to help us out.
If excuses led to wins, everyone's trophy case would be full, right? So I don't want to hear ifs. I don't want to hear, well, oh, what if this and what if that? The reality is they found a way to go 4-0, and it's not pretty, and I get it. And it's not always going to be pretty. And when you win a Super Bowl and you get everyone's best punch, or at least in theory, you get everyone's best prep, this is how some of the games are going to look. I would much rather come out of these games with question marks. I would much rather come out of these games with room to improve, winning a game. Yeah. Right? Because we've seen it in years past where I didn't get right, lost on a last-minute field goal, or There's a million different ways this team, all NFL teams, have lost games, and they got to go back to the lab and find a way to fix it. This team is going back to the lab, and they've admitted there's things they need to improve on both sides of the ball. In fact, the only side they may not need to improve on is special teams. That unit's been dominant. Yeah. But I'll take it in a win. It's football. To answer your question before, is it 2023? Is it 2024? It's neither. It's 2025.
I like that.
And it's very different than what we saw in 2023. And as we all now see, it's very different than what we saw in 2024. Now, hopefully in 3 months, we can have a conversation that's similar to what we saw last year. But to Greedy Spice, 3 months away. It's week 5.
Right.
The preseason's now over. We just went through our preseason, and we ran through a gauntlet of teams to do it.
Yeah, the first 4 games, like, listen, if you were to tell me, okay, the Eagles' offense through first 4 games, which we can all agree, preseason or not, it's a pretty good sample size, especially when you're playing tough teams. That the Philadelphia Eagles points per game are 7th in the NFL at 27 points. 7th in the NFL. Okay, that's pretty good. Yards per game, 30th in the NFL. Run game, 16th. We're in the we're in the middle 50. Oh my God, what is that? Passing offense, yards per game, 31st, and giving up the 17th most sacks. I'd be like, so what are we? 2-2, 1-3? Like tell me, no, we're 4-0. Mm-hmm. The next 4 games against teams that you would and I would agree not playoff teams, beatable, as in the Denver Broncos, the New York Giants.
Denver's going to postseason again.
Mm-hmm. But beatable. They're not on the side. I don't look at them like I look at a Tampa Bay. No. I don't look at them even like I look at a no, not at all. So it's Denver Broncos, New York Giants, Minnesota Vikings, and New York Giants again. This next 4 games could very well be like hey, we weathered the storm early. We came out smelling like roses, and now we get to start to take advantage of some of these teams that aren't so tough, or that haven't had our number, or that haven't given us a tough time in the postseason, or that we've met in a Super Bowl not once but twice.
Andrew, take advantage of this break.
Ooh. All right, I'll lead it off. Let's talk about getting back to what you love, especially this fall. Whether you're biking, by the Schuylkill, chasing your kids through a sprinkler, or finally tackling that hiking trail, it's tough when your body doesn't cooperate. That's where Rothman Orthopedics comes in. From aches after a softball game, which I know all too very well, to old injuries flaring up this fall, Rothman's team of experts are here to help. With evidence-based care and a commitment to restoring your mobility, they'll get you back out there stronger than ever. Don't let pain put your summer on pause or your fall. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to book your appointment today and get back to doing what you love, pain-free. Rothman Orthopedics, getting you back to your fall game is their mission.
So my read is Ace Hardware. Now, today I get to tell you something about my life that's real. My power went out. I flipped the circuit breaker. Everything came back on. And my stove didn't come back on. And my God, if you haven't moved your stove away from the wall, don't do it. Don't do it.
No telling what you'll find.
I'm so upset about how bad it is. But I looked at the power and I'm like, okay, the stove's out. Everything else on the line's okay. So I'm like, oh, I got to buy a new stove. Then the next day I try to go get in the shower and my hot water's not working. My whole house is electric. And I'm reading this thinking, you got an outlet that needs to be fixed from last summer? I kind of do. It's been 2 weeks now. Ace Hardware will come out and bring the things that you need. And I'm actually going to call Ace Hardware this week because I was so happy when the water heater was broken, because I'm thinking to myself, if I can get somebody to come out and look at it, maybe there's just a switch or a fuse or a socket that needs to be replaced. So Ace Hardware will come out, local guys to your community, and have all the tools and things that you need to get things fixed. So this being my ad read today might save me like $2,000, because I'm like, I've been looking at stoves all week and I don't want to spend the money. So if I can get somebody out here locally that cares in the community and knows what they're doing, I'm going to be a happy camper. If you got anything that needs to be fixed now, go to acehardware.com and check it out and get your project fixed today, because I too will be doing that tomorrow. Guaranteed. Like I took a cold shower today, guys. I was over here frosty.
2 things. No such thing as a happy camper. Second thing, I love how you went with the level 1 troubleshooting, which is basically just flip the breaker. Did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
Yeah.
That's level 1 troubleshooting at its finest.
I just want to make sure nothing was on fire or sparking. You know what I mean? So
I also want to say, like, while we're sitting here, doom and gloom about the offense, but realistically, when you take a step back, we're fine, right? We're fine. Four games against tough opponents, walking out 4-0. You've got 4 games that you should be able to make a statement. But also, you take a look around at the rest of the league, or rest of the NFC more specifically, and you take a look at all these teams. We're watching them. We see them. Some of them are finding ways to win. Some of them are better than they or better than they should be. Some of them are worse, not as good as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take a look at who's it going to be? The Commanders at 2-2?
So before you even finish your statement real quick, not to cut you off, I want to ask you a question. Why? Now, this isn't because I want it. Why don't people like Philadelphia? Because to what you're talking about, all I heard was Baker Mayfield just finds a way to win. They're winning these tight games close and late. In the last 2 minutes, he's got these game-winning drives. He beat a collective 3 teams that are 1-8. We're beating championship-level teams, finding a way to win, and it's, what's wrong with the Eagles? Jalen Hurts can't throw a ball. He's the worst quarterback in the league. I'm like, what is the marketing campaign that I need to get on to because the Bucs aren't anything special. Why do they?
This is why.
Why are we?
The simplicity of it is, okay, first and foremost, you're a defending Super Bowl champion, right? So there's a standard and an expectation that comes from that. Along with that, it's this idea that we subscribe to as well. Now, I can't speak for the national media, but there's this idea that we subscribe to that, hold on, that might be the best Eagles team we've ever seen. And a lot of those guys are back. Now, there's some changes. There's some tweaks here and there. And the conversation nationally is that might be the most dominant Super Bowl run the league has ever seen. So I think just from that perspective, to see them kind of struggle where we don't expect them to. Now, again, all the reasons why they struggle are valid. Whether it's the opponent, beginning of the season, change of OC, changes on D. There's a million reasons to why you may start a season sluggish. Why they get the criticism, it's not valid to me, but it's only because A, everybody wants to knock the guy off on top, but B, they were so damn dominant last year that seeing them not being able to run the ball or seeing A.J. Brown with 158 yards through 4 games just doesn't look right. Something's wrong, and we all acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of this isn't passing the smell test, but also let's not pretend. Like, I realize that the Bucs beat, it was 3 teams that was a cumulative what? What'd you say?
1-8.
1-8?
Yeah.
Baker played great. Baker played great. Todd Bowles is a great coach. The defense is, you know what I mean? They know what they're doing down there. They know what they're doing.
But if you played great, what happened the first 58 minutes?
I'll tell you.
You know what I mean? Why did you need that last-minute drive in those 3 games? And I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. Of course he's a good quarterback.
Right.
Against bad teams.
Right. And if you play great against a bad team, it shouldn't come down to the final 2 minutes. You shouldn't be trailing the final 2 minutes. So it's all the media spin. It's all the narrative. National media and pundits love who they love, and they want to push the content they want to push. Philadelphia fans, we have a reputation, right, wrong, or indifferent, and it just doesn't lend itself kindly to some of the pundits. And we don't give a damn, right?
But to get back around to my thought, well, I got the devil and the angel both whispering their sweet little nothings into my ear. One of the things that the angel is saying is like, hey, listen, dude, bro, take a look around the rest of the NFC. Who's beating you? Like, seriously, who and any given Sunday, any given time, I get that. But when you take a look at what in your own division, is it the Commanders at 2-2? I told you that quarterback sophomore slump. Oh, listen, that's a real thing. Certainly not the Cowboys or Giants. What about the 49ers at 3-1? Does it? No, I don't believe it. I think the 49ers are pretenders, not contenders. Seattle Seahawks are second in the NFC West at 3-1. Do the Seattle Seahawks scare you?
If I'm playing in Seattle, I don't like it, but no.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
But
I get 4-0 and they're 3-1, so we got home field.
Yeah. Is it the Rams? 3-way tie in the NFC. It's the Rams beat them. NFC North. Lions, okay, Jekyll and Hyde. They can look great one week and then look like garbage the next week. They look great against the Baltimore Ravens. What was the first game of this? I mean, they
lost to the Packers, blew them out.
And then
the Packers lost to the Browns.
So
you tell me.
Right, exactly. All right, so it's definitely not the Vikings or the Bears. Buccaneers lead the NFC South. Falcons right behind them at 2-2. So again, who in the NFC really scares you? Like, let this team work through the growing pains. Let this team, listen, they're putting up all these Bobo stats. Again, a sheet of paper, I would go, what is this? What is the Eagles? 2-2, 1-3? No, they're 4-0. Let them work the stuff out. They're not even clicking on all cylinders yet. Let's see the next 4 games. Let's see Denver comes down. Let's see the link rocking again. And let's see what happens then.
Yeah, I mean, the stat you're missing there as to why they're 4-0, check out their red zone offense and red zone defense. That's where they're phenomenal. That's where the winning DNA comes in.
And that's where, listen, I get it out there. You listen to the national pundits or the X's and O's guys, which I will fully admit that I am not. And they're talking about the same 3 routes for A.J. Brown. It's the same 3 routes and the same 3 routes. The offense has no creativity. I don't know, man. Especially in the red zone, I saw some creativity there. I saw a 4-man diamond wide receiver package and Dallas Goedert. Hold on, get a lateral and go right into the end zone. I saw a fake tush push up in there. I saw a shovel pass up in there. So it's not like there's no creativity, right?
Correct.
But
it's 20s to 20. Like the 20 to 20, where's the creativity there?
Right.
Patullo made me cuss earlier because he really makes me angry. I listen to his press conferences, and it's like, dude, he subscribes to the Nick Sirianni without the storytelling. Like he tries to laugh off everything. Like it's not funny. You're not doing a good job right now. Like it's not, don't give me cute little answers. Your nothingness answers mean nothing to me. Stop it. But to give him credit, 100% in the red zone. That's amazing. Scoring on opening drives. Remember when we won 8 games, couldn't score in the first quarter?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, remember that?
I forgot about
every month, every day, every week, couldn't score.
Yeah.
So I'll give him credit for the red zone. I'll give him credit for the opening drives. And I'll give him credit for some kind of adjustments when ish hits the fan. But in general, bro, you need a better overall architect of a plan. And you need to do it ASAP this month against this team to get yourself right and get some confidence built up. That being said, it's also time for our player of the week. In your absence last week, he failed.
What'd he do?
You know I was going to fail. You know I was going to break the rule. The entire chat, Todd in there, Frank, Fred, they all called me out on it. They all called me out on it.
Multiple people. You say one person only. Today's order goes me, Ashworth, E, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew's bringing up the rear.
Yeah, he's got last. He's got last. Andrew's been getting.
Start writing down names right now.
Andrew took my point last week. I was like, oh man, I tried to throw him a line. So my player of the week is Quinyon Mitchell, and he might be the best cornerback in the league. Last year, opening game, I came in here. That video's got 200,000 views on it because I said, that guy be talking trash. He's on your ass. And it is just amazing to watch him play. Was he a little handsy? Everybody be pushing off nowadays. If they don't call it, I can't say it. Because I'm watching A.J. Brown getting dragging people on the back. That's another person's name.
Flag
on the play.
Oh, man.
Flag on the play.
And you just called him out for it, too.
He pushed me. I was like, what? I was just letting my man roll.
No. I might have said a third name after that because I was going to say who was dragging him on his back. Because I'm sitting there, people sitting there, why is he? How's he letting the whole people? I'm like, are you not watching my team? Where everybody is hot outside. Everybody's holding. But anyway.
So excited. I'm so happy.
Quinyon Mitchell, that's the first time I messed up. It got me. Quinyon Mitchell is top 2 corners in the league right now. And next week, you're going to see the guy that might be ahead of him. But right now, Quinyon Mitchell, you are my player of the week.
Now, I reserve the right to make a mistake because I was not here last week, and I don't know who was said. And I don't care who was said because it's not going to change my answer anyway. But my player of the week kind of lends itself to what we had already discussed. We know there's problems on offense. We know there's deficiencies on defense. What we also know is that special teams has been humming. That special teams won them the game against the Rams.
Yep.
That special teams set the tone against Tampa Bay. We have seen good special teams in Philadelphia. We have seen really bad special teams in Philadelphia. And while I've had my questions over the years about Michael Clay, he has this unit humming. He got the kicker right. I'm not using the name. I'm just saying he got the kicker right. He's getting pressure on kicks, whether it be a field goal or a punt. So for that reason, for low-key as your boy 11 would say, low-key carrying this team, Michael Clay, sir, you are my player of the week.
I've got 2 of them. Andrew, I'm going to throw you a layup. I'm going to throw you because I'm not taking the easy answer.
I got 3 on my mind right now, so
I like it.
I think I should be safe.
Coming into this game, if you watched last week's podcast, it was my biggest concern was I felt that the Eagles were going to win the game. I thought offensively they were going to look good. Defensively, they were not going to look good. And what I was pleasantly surprised, despite the absence of one of our key defensive ends, despite one of the absences of, injuries and having to overcome obstacles, my defensive player, despite 2 touchdowns that were just scramble drills, because he was bringing the heat all game, my player of the week is Vic Fangio.
Okay.
Because he was bringing the heat. He found a way. I was very concerned, not with the defensive tackles. I was very concerned with the edge rushers and how are they going to get after Baker Mayfield? How are they going to try to pressure him into mistakes? And schematically, I thought Vic Fangio called an amazing game. He brought the heat. It was shades of Jim Johnson. For those of us old enough to watch, know what Jim Johnson's defense looked like. He turned his weaknesses into strength. He had Baker Mayfield scrambling. Now, granted, sometimes when you're on that scramble drill, somehow the ball is going to get in between 2 safeties. I'm trying not to name names, or get behind a rookie linebacker. But that rookie linebacker also had an interception, right? So I think Vic Fangio just did a great job scheming it up and trying to win the game despite the deficiencies of the offense.
When you get home tonight, give both of your kids my phone number and tell them that if you ever yell at them that they get a jail free, call Uncle Black Gritty so I can take care of it.
Why is that?
You said Jim Johnson and Baker Mayfield. You said 2 names. You said 2 names, and you said them both 3 times.
How am I supposed to give that explanation as to why?
I'm not talking about Jim Johnson. This is how we play the game. This is why it's fun of the game. This is why I messed up. You got to keep the names out
So
your
we
mouth.
can't even say.
Stay focused.
So we can't even reference a name.
He said 11.
I said 11.
See,
You saw that? You saw that?
See, he did 11. You said 2 people. You could have said the quarterback.
I can get away with 11.
You
though,
said
right?
11.
Okay. All right.
Andrew, I put the period on that sentence and went in my head.
Nailed it.
And the whole time he just sitting there.
I wish you
and
could
Jim
say you
Johnson-
did.
He said Jim Johnson 3 times, Baker Mayfield 3 times. I was like, who are we talking about again? He ain't said Vic Fangio for 17 minutes. Okay. Andrew, who's your Woo player of the week?
I got about 4 guys on my mind.
No, here we go. Here we go.
And I'm not going to use any names, but my one Woo player. 2 guys on special teams, one that blocked the ball, one that scooped and scored the ball. 2 on defense. A rookie who made an interception, and then the baddest motherfather on the defense of all. The one that put a running back on his bootay, Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is my Woo player of the week.
I was so scared. I thought he was listing out 5 players.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Now, I know the rules of the game.
So at least somebody knows.
Andrew was tap dancing around that minefield. I was waiting. I'm like, man, he's got 3 players. He's talking about multiple players on each side of the ball. You know who?
That's the fun part of the game, though, trying not to do it.
Right.
Because like I said, when I said it, I was like, because I didn't want to say Patrick Surtain. I was like, you want to get Patrick Surtain. So that's the fun part of the game. That's why we do our Woo players.
I honestly think there should be an honorable mention this week.
Of who?
Is this against the rule? I don't want to get flamed.
We're out of the Woo period.
But hold on. Okay, I hear you. But just for the rules of the game, so I'm aware, because I prefaced mine with I don't know who you mentioned last week.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll reset it because you weren't here, and then week before he wasn't here.
Okay,
So
all right.
we'll reset it.
So who's your honorable mention then? Because we can't name them multiple times in a year, correct? Okay.
Not more times back-to-back weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's show Dallas Goedert some love. 2 tutties, and really, when we talk about offensive design, those tutties were designed for him.
I mean, they're very easy.
They're very easy, but why were they easy? Hold on, why were they easy? They
schemed it. Yeah. So you want Patullo to be? That's your honorable mention.
No, you're mentioning too many. Listen, I'm just saying, for all the lack of creativity, those are probably 2 of the easiest yet most creative touchdowns that Dallas Goedert is going to have in his career.
And again, I used to be anti-Nick. I'm now on the Nick train. Someone got in my comments was like, you don't believe in Jalen Hurts. I was like, no, that was Nick Sirianni. I've always been a Jalen guy, but Nick, I'm on Nick's side. I'm not even giving that to Patullo because people forget it. I remember everything I watched much football. Oh my God, the fake tush push. I'm like, they did it with Swift in 2023.
Yep.
They did it with AJ Brown, threw him up the sideline for like a 27-yard pass. Like the shuffle in there, I'm sure Nick at night sits there, has got 47 different fakes
I'm sure
of the tush push, and he's like, hey, dog, they on your head. Try one of these bad boys.
By the way,
try one of these because also you do it against the guy who can stop you. The one consistent team that stops the tush push is the Tampa Bay Bucks. So that's when you need to pull that out because they stopped the traditional tush push better than anybody.
But the Jags stopped him twice last year. We remember that. But if I'm not mistaken, they didn't run it once against Tampa, correct? They didn't run it once. They lined up in the formation. They did not run the tush push one time. So there's a big FU to Roger Goodell in the NFL.
So use all the fakes. So is Denver home or away? We home?
We home.
We're home.
Which is massive in this game. That's the difference right there.
Yeah, playing Mile High is a problem. It's an issue for a lot of people. I don't like Denver on principle because it makes me dislike Jeffrey Lurie every time I see the Denver Broncos.
Why?
You know why. Tell me why. Why would I be mad at the owner of my team
Let's think.
when I think about the Broncos?
The only
I know. Got it. Never mind.
the only
Brian Dawkins? Yeah.
Oh.
Me seeing Brian Dawkins.
No, but don't be mad at Jeffrey Lurie. Be mad at Joe Banner.
The way that Jeffrey had a relationship with the bodyguard and they were best friends, and he used to just walk into Jeffrey's, and I don't know if he had a tape on him or something, but I feel like that's the kind of relationship Dawkins should have had. Dawkins was like, hey, baby, don't let me go. And he should have stayed there. I know who's responsible, but I can only put on ownership because he's still here. And every time I see a little highlight or a video, because he had a couple hits up there, I'm like, it makes me sad. It makes me so sad to see that. So whenever I see Denver, we got to whoop up on Denver just for that reason alone. Just for that reason alone. Y'all got to have a Wolverine for a little slice of it. You don't deserve it. You didn't need it.
You know what was great? I was at his Hall of Fame speech. You remember what happened at his Hall of Fame speech?
No.
He talked about his football career. He talked about his family. He talked about his life. He talked about Philadelphia, and he talked about the Philly fans. And then Deuces walked off the stage and forgot to even mention the Denver Broncos.
That's what.
Then had to realize what he did, and then had to do a quick social media video to wearing his gold jacket and his hat to thank the Denver. He did. He didn't even. Not one.
That's why when you said that, I'm like, I don't remember him even saying anything about. I didn't see a social media post because I'm like, yes, I was like, he didn't say anything about Denver. That's what I was like, I don't remember what you're about to say because he didn't say anything. I didn't know he did social media thing.
Those are all crafted, pre-written, right? He had to have prepared that.
Some of these guys get up there crying and bawling. I don't know if they wrote anything down. You know what I mean? They might have a list of people they're supposed to thank, and then they tell little stories. But like,
wow.
You know where my head was at when he asked that, and it's totally random, and I don't know why it was there. When Lincoln Financial Field was being built, Jeffrey Lurie flew to each NFL stadium to see what he liked and what he didn't like, and tried to grab something from here and try to grab something from here and try to grab. The reason you have Philadelphia Eagle logo heads on the top of each end zone is because he loved that about the Mile High Stadium.
That's all right.
Yeah, because they got that Denver Bronco logo in the seats, and he was like, man, I like that. The reason you have Philadelphia Eagles logos at the top of Lincoln Financial Field in the seats is because of the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Sean Payton is not a fan of the tush push. Sean Payton is an overrated coach as far as I'm concerned. His bounty gate knocks him way off my pedestal. The arrogance of which he talked about teams when he was an analyst kind of disgusts me. Like he didn't go through hardships as a coach. Like he didn't have issues as a coach. Like you didn't luck out and have Drew Brees. This reason I don't like Drew Brees. Like, dude, you threw the most intermediate passes of any quarterback on a legacy track. Even more, Tom Brady didn't have a huge arm, but Tom Brady could still pepper down the field. Drew Brees was like, get me some of the fastest, biggest wide receivers. Let me hit him on a 7-yard route and watch him run 40 yards. Like, dude, you weren't bombs over Baghdad. So I don't like Sean Payton at all. I don't like his character. I don't like cut his jib. I don't like the fact that he's trying to turn Bo Nix into somebody. We're trying to make this kid fetch. No, thank you. I don't like anything about that team except for Surtain. And I expect us to dog walk this team, please. I don't care about style points normally, but I
think this is a style point game.
I want
Really?
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it because I really put the second half on his head hitting the carpet and the heat.
Okay.
I can't. You can't go 15 for 16.
I know.
And then go 0 for 8 and not have me think that something happened. Because remember the year before he didn't have a concussion, but he was on an interview at SVP. The next game he looked bonkers, hit his head again, and he's out for 3 games because he had a concussion. Something wasn't right. The Heat too. If you give me 15 for 16, you got a plan like that. Like
how much of it?
We're home, and it's going to be 60 degrees.
I mean, how much of
82.
it is
82?
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. 82, yeah.
I mean, part of that too. The question is, did we just get did Patullo and the Eagles just get too vanilla? Just all right, we got this game in the bag. We're up. The same mistake the Rams made, right? Did they make that same mistake? But I totally understand your point. I want to say it's going to be a staple game. That is going to be a put my flag in the ground type game because I did. You remember a few years, what was it, I guess it was 2017, wasn't it? Where we welcomed Denver into town, and Denver was actually a legit.
Oh, with the defense. Yeah,
right?
there was that
Denver
guy
was a legit team, and we were like, we blew them out the water. We put like 50 on them, didn't we?
Yeah, something
if
like
If
that.
I remember
Yeah,
correctly,
yeah.
we wore the All
Big
Blacks.
score, yeah,
We
big
wore the All
score.
Blacks that game.
I think it was the Jay Ajayi breakout game,
Is that
if I
right?
remember correctly. Or was that Houston? That was one of them.
I just remember, I think it was Jeffrey Alshon. I think in the beginning of the game, Carson flipped one out to Jeffrey, and it was like, oh boy, okay, hold on, we're on something today.
They've got a short week flying across the country.
Correct, right? For all these reasons. You just played on Monday night. You got to come to the East Coast on a short week. Denver's a really good football team. They are. Denver's a really good football team at home. They're a very different football team on the road. And for all the struggles we talk about Philadelphia, they're a different team at home. Philly plays really well at home. Now, this game is going to present challenges. Defensively, pressure-wise, they've got 15 sacks. They lead the league in hurries. They get after it. And the Eagles, we've already talked about their problems on the IOL, interior offensive line, and obviously with Lane banged up. So they're going to have to address that. But again, Denver plays different on the road. Philly plays different at home. That's why when we started talking about it, I told you that's the difference. Because if this is in Mile High, I might feel different. But I still want to lean on your side and say, hey, they're going to put their flag in the ground and get right. But like always, they got to prove it.
They do got to prove it. And competition, like, BG, you were there. Like, I felt like the New York Giants game at MetLife Stadium last year was a big, like, okay, we're starting to feel good. I feel like style points matter on this one. Like, okay, you're scratching and clawing for every W. That's okay. But you know this team is big on, quote, unquote, the standard. 2023 gremlin in my ear once again. Like, yeah, they were winning, but nobody was happy and they weren't playing up to the standard. I think if you ask every Eagle, player, coach, or otherwise, an honest question, are you playing up to your standard? The answer is going to be no. All right, well, let's see that standard. Because I guarantee you, all this A.J. Brown nonsense that we spent the first 20, 25 minutes talking about, everything, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers game last year. They're doing the kid and play little. Okay, you're at home. You're in front of the home crowd. Nothing is going to feel better than being 4-0, coming out of that rough stretch with some sort of, maybe a little locker room friction, maybe a little uncertainty. But you listen to Jordan Mailata. We're one block away. You hear everybody schematically. You hear Jalen Hurts, and we just got to let our dogs be dogs. But let's see the standard, because I guarantee you show me the standard, everything else is going to fall into place. Everything else is going to fall into place.
So circle back to what you said earlier in the show about when I said AJ is always going to be AJ. And you're like, you know what? He's right. He's always going to be AJ. I'm always going to be the mean person on the show and the angry person on the show because it suits the show and it's my personality. So I would like to remind E-Rock of how dumb he was when he said in the beginning of the shows, "It's your bold take. My bold take is Saquon Barkley going to run for another 2,000 yards." And I looked at him, I said, would you like to retake that take? Because no one has ever done it, ever. And in true E-Rock fashion, I'm going to stick with my gun to go for 2,000
Go big or go home, man.
Yeah, we going
It's a
home.
bold take.
We're going home. You know what my bold take is right now? I want to see Dylan. I want to see Shipley. And what's the kid's name from the Jags? The banker, tanker?
Tank.
Tanker?
Tank.
I need other people running the ball.
Yeah.
I need other people running the ball. When I see Dylan, guess what he's doing? Freight train straight ahead. 10 yards, 7 yards, 9 yards. He's averaging 7 yards a carry with the little 10 carries he got. Okay? Shipley broke through and had a 30-yard run. Saquon, he looks spry, but he's also dancing. I want to see somebody else in the backfield. I want to know if is it the line? Because again, the one thing, I'm not Duffy. I'm not Fran. I don't know nothing. But I do know nobody's pulling. The guards aren't pulling because Dickerson's hurt. He probably can't pull and run on the outside because he keep running up the middle. So if you're going to keep running up the middle, I need to see somebody else take these runs. Because right now, my guy's averaging 3 yards a carry. And when I see anybody else back there, they look a little better.
And just to kind of play, I looked this up the other day, just kind of play off your bold take.
I take exception to all this, by the way.
Take exception? No, so
exception to all this.
Of the, how many running backs have run for 2,000? 9 now? 9. I think he's the 9th. Is that what it is? Something like that. Of the running backs that have rushed for 2,000, I went and looked up, what did they do the next year, right? What did they do the following season? And I think the most that any running back has ever rushed for is Barry Sanders at like 1,491, right? So then you go down the list, and OJ's on the list, and Derrick Henry's on the list, and there's obviously
look at Derrick Henry too right now, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Right. But right now, and I didn't check. That's a good point. I didn't check what Henry's on pace for. It's more than Barkley. But right now, if you eliminate Derrick Henry, and the other one is Davis from the Broncos, because they got hurt during that year, right? So you eliminate them. He's on pace for 1,007 yards, which just edges out Jamal Lewis, who had 1,006. And he's on a 17-game pace.
You saw me looking something up.
What did the internet tell you?
I take exception to all this.
What did the internet tell you?
You sons of...
What we do?
What did the internet tell you?
Because the first year we did this podcast, we did like give me one bold prediction in the beginning of the season. And I said the Eagles, because Saquon Barkley is the high tide that raises all boats. This should all be ringing a bell.
Saying that specifically.
I said it multiple times, right? The Eagles will have the #1 scoring offense in the league on the way to their 2nd Super Bowl championship. They had the 7th highest scoring points per game offense on their way to the... And so and you guys, when I said that out loud, you went, whoa, big bold. Look at E-Rock really sticking his neck out on that one. Ooh, and now I come back and I go, all right, you know what? I'm really going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to make a stupid bold prediction, man. I'm going for it. And I'm getting clowned in week 5.
Well, this is why you're getting clowned, because I felt your energy, right? I was riding your wave. Because I said Jalen was going to have 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
I was going to let you say.
No, I'll call myself out.
I was holding that in my pocket.
No,
I know it.
You were holding it in your pocket.
I was holding that in my pocket till like week 8. I was going to be like, hey, dog, how are we looking at that 4K? You know
what was yours? What was your prediction?
I was looking real bad.
Oh, you got 7 interceptions, right?
7 interceptions for Quinion. Yeah. And he's had 2 in his hands. He's dropped them. So I'm not looking great either. Right. But I had planned on like stretching the news out to pick on you. So
that's the truth.
So everybody's wrong already. Turns out for cooking here, I'm a mean guy, so I got to cook this dude. Apparently everybody was wrong.
You're 100% wrong. You're done.
No, I'm the worst.
You're done. You might have a chance.
I might get 30 touchdowns.
AJ could go on that 7-run, 125-yard run.
Yep.
I don't know. He might, So Quinion might get 3 picks in one game. I don't know. We might play the Giants in Dart. You know what I mean? Dart might fart all over the field.
Yeah.
Your bold prediction's cooked.
I'm cooked. So now I got to find a happy medium for season 3.
All right.
Do you guys have bets ready?
Sure.
Wing it. You want to start it?
Okay. Do you got the spreads in front of you?
Yeah, I was just looking because I knew this was coming up. I was like, I need a game, don't I?
Well, to give myself a pat on the back, because apparently nobody else on this podcast is going to give me a pat on the back. I was correct in my pick. I was correct in my pick last week.
Okay.
Because I picked the Saints plus the points against the Buffalo Bills, and they played them for a little bit. Kind of tough there. 15.5 points was a large spread. They covered that spread. So at least if you were betting with E-Rock, you were winning some money. I can't speak on behalf of everybody else. The Birds, it's worth noting, I'm not picking the Eagles game at all, but it's worth noting that the Birds are -4.5 against the Broncos at home at Lincoln Financial Field. For my pick, did we decide what we're calling this yet?
No, I'll make a name this week.
Okay.
I'll solidify it.
It sounds good because we can throw up a graphic and everything.
Yeah, I'll make
it. This week, I am picking the Dallas...
Oh, you're going to do it?
The Dallas...
I made this mistake 2 weeks ago. I made that mistake.
Dallas Cowboys giving up 2.5 at New York Jets. I'm taking Dallas.
Okay, just for the record, I would take the Saints. That's fine. Oh, I'm sorry. I would take the Jets. They play the Jets. I would take the Jets in that game. Where I was saying the Saints is because I actually think I like the Saints to get their first win of the season. They host the Giants. The Giants defense is trash. The Saints actually run the football well. You mentioned it. They hung with the Bills for a little bit last week. They covered. I'm going to say go ahead. Saints -1.5. Take them at home.
I'm going with Duval.
That's so cool.
+3 against the Chiefs. And they might win outright.
Really?
They might win outright. I know they just did what they did, but I'm taking Duval. Andrew, you got anything? I know we put you on the spot. We didn't talk about it earlier. So we're going to skip Andrew Day. But let me ask you this next question, then we can wrap it up, talk about the game, our picks. But I'm going to ask you a question. If you had a choice right now, literally, would you take Lamar Jackson over Jalen Hurts?
No. Andrew's laughing.
Andrew.
Hey, hold on. Andrew
Andrew,
got
would
something
you-
to say. He's squeaking.
Andrew, would
What
you
do
take
got?
Lamar Jackson over Jalen Hurts? If I told you right now, just swap one up, 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah? 1 yay, 1 no. What say you?
Well, it's tough. My daughter's name is Jalen.
She can still be your daughter.
I got to give her up at that point. Now
not
my
trading
daughter's, I got to change her
daughters,
name
I'm
to
not,
Lamar.
I'm not trading her.
My daughter's name's Lamar now. You're talking about an MVP,
It's tough.
legit,
Marsha.
a legit MVP, but he doesn't have that DNA. Is it blasphemous for me to say? Is it Homer for me to say no? I want championship DNA. That's what I want. I'm taking one.
Black Gritty is going to now present us with the correct answer.
That is so Andrew, because Andrew's telling the truth of what people feel in our heart. In your heart, you'd say, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson. Highest QB rating.
In our head or our heart?
In your head. You're in your head, you're like the highest QB rating of any quarterback ever, faster than Michael Vick, arm like Josh Allen. I mean, his winning. We talk about Jalen's winning and the coach winning. He wins 80% of his games he plays. I'm never in my life taking Lamar Jackson over Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson is better at everything on the football field physically than Jalen Hurts is. He's faster. He's stronger. He hasn't got it up here. When he went to go play the Chiefs, whenever he has a big game, he falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
He's throwing picks. He's playing scared. He doesn't even get to play Patrick Mahomes because he loses to Josh Allen or somebody else in the postseason when pressure's on. You give him Derrick Henry. You give him Flowers. You revamp the defense at the trade deadline because you know the team's doing good, and you give him a 2,000-yard rusher, and he still can't even beat Josh Allen. When who is Josh Allen throwing to? Who's on their team? All you think about is the dude that almost died on the field and Cook. That's it. The wide receiver's cold. God loves cookies. Like, who's on the team? The fact that the conversations happen so much of disrespect for Jalen Hurts is in the postseason, he just shows up and wins. And I know that he's an MVP, a 2-time MVP. If you took the names off and you put it on there, you'd say you'd want Lamar.
Okay, let me.
But you can't take Lamar.
I agree. I like DNA, right? I want a winner, and I've said that always. And I agree completely where you talk about physically, Lamar clears him in virtually all
Everything.
aspects, right? But along that theory, I want to vet this theory out real quick. Who are you taking, Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow?
100%. See,
I want to test it out. That's all.
This is where
You get to swap, Joe.
I sound crazy. I'm taking Jalen Hurts over every single quarterback in the league other than Josh Allen.
But why? That was my
Patrick
next
Mahomes.
one. Why not? That was my next one. And I love Josh Allen. And
Joe
I
Burrow's
know how
great.
they-
Joe
I know-
Burrow's amazing.
But what have they won? Josh Allen can't get past anybody either.
Joe Burrow can't stay on the field. Joe Burrow
Bingo.
can't run past a rock.
Agree.
My grandma might get out there and go 1 for 1 with Joe Burrow.
You could have stopped at 1.
No wheels. So
Joe Burrow better win a Super Bowl
What?
this year.
Oh, you know my other favorite
This
thing?
year.
What,
He better win a Super Bowl this year, or else these questions are going to start to come. Like, hey, does this guy can he win?
when we blow out a team later on in the season, we're gonna have a whole episode where we just talk about ifs, ands, or buts. Because my favorite conversation is like, well, if you put this quarterback on this team, well, the Bengals have a great offense. You put any quarterback back there, he can throw to 2 number 1 wide receivers. Doesn't look like he can.
Nope.
Down there at Miami, they got 2 wide receivers. You got Tua. Tua was picked over Jalen.
Yep.
What are they winning? 3 running backs. I'm just saying, when everybody just, well, you put Jalen Hurts on the team, you wouldn't win. If you put Jalen Hurts on Josh Allen's team, they win. You put him on that Ravens team, they win. I'm sorry.
And I get it. Like, as we're having this conversation, I genuinely feel dumb just saying it.
It sounds bad. It does feel
like
it feels.
I can imagine if someone's listening, going, "You would take Jalen over Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar." Like, okay, you're a homer. You're an idiot.
Not Josh Allen. I'm taking Josh.
But I have to just test that theory based on what you're saying, because again, he clears him and everything too, but he hasn't won. Yeah. And it's not just about did you win. It's not like, because obviously roster comes into play, right? For the Lamar specific conversation, that roster has no excuses. No. Now, they were banged up last week. They were hurt on defense, but they have a tremendous roster as well. Yeah. And Lamar can't win with it, or at least he hasn't.
Well, let's talk about this game. Get some scores going.
Over here scribbling.
Yeah, while you guys are arguing over quarterbacks, I was just trying to get my thoughts on the game. A bold prediction on the game, and then the score prediction.
Yeah.
You want 2,000 yards for Barkley.
Yeah, I'll go first because I scribbled the notes. Bold prediction on the game. I'll keep saying it. I'll keep manifesting it until it actually physically happens. A.J. Brown, $125 and a tutty. A.J. Brown breakout game, very similar to the way they did against the Steelers, getting right, passing game. Hey, A.J. and Jalen are doing the dance, kumbaya and all that. If I was to make another bold prediction, this is even bolder than bold, because apparently my predictions are either not bold enough or too bold. Both Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell have a pick in this game, because they're going to rack up the score so high that Bo Nix is going to be forced to pass the ball. And that's when he's going to be forced into mistakes, because Vic Fangio, once again, is going to Jim Johnson the shit out of this thing and get after the quarterback, force him into mistakes. I got the Birds winning 34-20.
Andrew?
Yes.
Got a score?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I do.
I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be 24 Eagles, 17 Broncos. I think Devontae Smith is actually going to be the receiver who has a big game.
Because you respect Surtain Jr.
You want to go, sir? I'm still pondering. I'm still pondering my score. I'll go.
Go ahead.
No, Surtain's like incredible, but this is the game where they have to, just like they schemed Dallas open, and just like they were rotating running backs, and maybe, what I'm trying to say is scheme AJ open.
Yeah. I don't think Patullo's capable.
Bless you.
I don't think Patullo's capable.
Bless you.
Are you talking about PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Patullo's capable of scheming him open just yet.
So first of all, in E fashion, I don't mind it, but if I'm going to be BG for a second, you gave 2 bold predictions. Yes. Now you required 1. You gave 2, and your second one kind of stole my thunder of my bold prediction. But it's okay.
Flag.
That does no. It's okay, because I didn't get down to the nitty gritty and the specifics.
Okay.
I think if I'm going to make it bold, because I guess my original one isn't bold. If I'm going to be bold, I'll say the Eagles force 3 turnovers on the day. Okay. Who? I'll leave that up to you. You want to say Quinyon? You want to say Coop? That's fine. That's on you. I think a score, again, at home. And the Eagles just play different at home. And more importantly, Denver plays different at home. I think the message is clear. I feel good about the game. I'm going to go Birds in a little closer game than you think, but I'm going to go Birds 26-22. And I did that because you said 24. I wanted to go 24-20, but I'll go 26-22.
31-17 Birds.
I love it.
Simply because
Chesty.
It's going to be under 170 yards passing. A.J. Brown is not going to have 100-plus yards.
It's going to keep manifesting it.
Yeah. You can manifest against the Giants. I'll take that. And then kind of against Minnesota. But the numbers still aren't going to look right for the team because, again, they have really good defense. They have really good. Denver has a really good defense.
Absolutely.
And we have not found our stride yet. So the defense is going to get the turnovers. I don't know how many turnovers you got guys going on, but I like the turn. Y'all said turnovers. I like the sound of turnovers and getting a short field and scoring because, again, we're in the red zone. That is something KP has locked down. 100% in the red zone. Get some turnovers, short fieldage, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, I have one last question. Even though Andrew wants to get here and go home, I want to too. I'll start with you, Andrew. I'll ask you because it's off the cuff. Who's the better player, Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean?
Well, that's a tough one, man.
Who's the better player, Andrew? Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean right now?
Quinyon.
I feel gross.
I
don't even want to.
This is like a gross question.
I know.
Side note, there were multiple times in that I'll answer your question, but there were multiple times in that Tampa game where you know how like a guy catches a ball and you see there's somebody in the vicinity and you get to that critical point where either you're going to make this play or you're not. I've never been more confident in anyone making a tackle besides Coop and Quinn. Like it's just when the ball's caught and they're in the area, I go, got him, because you know they're just going to take the right angle and make the play. They're so sure Q.
I'm going to hedge it here only because I've seen Q play on the outside. I haven't seen Coop play on the outside enough. I think he is such a damn good player, Coop. And I'm glad that it's not a problem that I really have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's not a decision I really have to make, but knowing how dangerous wide receiver ones are, and I've seen Coop play the outside. I'm sorry, I've seen Q play the outside. I'd say right now, I'm just going to say I've seen Q play the outside. That's all I'm going to say.
Q.
All right. So, Quinyon, other than Andrew. Andrew said Coop? You said Q?
We all said Q.
We're all on Q.
Yeah.
So we all have a good brain because it is a hard question.
Dude.
You said it made you feel gross? Something Andrew said earlier made me think, I was like, man, I was like, it's so hard because Quinyon is taking on number one receivers and traveling now.
Mm-hmm.
That's Revis Island. Yeah. That's something us as Eagles fans our whole lives love to see. We had Sheldon and we had our tandem where they didn't have to travel. We never had the guy that could just be like, that guy's going with your best guy. I don't care about it. That's one thing I'll get big credit for because nobody throws a Q like that. He threw it him all day long. Didn't work out for him, but at least he had the balls to do it. And I look at Coop and I'm just like, this is like a Swiss Army knife of he always makes the tackle. He's always close by. And they're both rookies. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, how can you even afford to pay all this money at the same time? Like, it's so much money.
So that was the dilemma for me. It's you get Q, who's that lockdown, and I can travel both sides, and it can be that Revis Island, and that can free up so much of what I can do with my defense, right? That's one side of the conversation. And then it's, hold on, I can move Coop anywhere, and he's such that Swiss Army knife, and he's such that short tackler, and you could literally put him on the outside, you could put him in the slot, you could drop him back to safety. Maybe he's the key to the defense. So that's kind of what was going through my head because both, again, a good problem to have. How we'll find a way to pay him, but damn, did they not get it right?
So, anything you want to say before we wrap it up and get the things?
Nah, if you're coming to Lincoln Financial Field, I'll be bouncing around a couple tailgates, mainly the Philly Sports Trips tailgate. I would encourage you to check them out, check out their website, and if you can, pick up some tickets to their tailgate. I'll see you there.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
I was watching the Exciting Mics. You guys watch that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was watching Exciting Mics.
Yep.
And they obviously have their name. A question that we should think of so we can help is they want to know what's the combo that we're going to call Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. If Reed and Coop are the exciting, well, really they're exciting whites.
Yeah.
But if they're the exciting whites, then what's Jalen and Carter, or what's Carter and Davis inside? That's their question. They're working on that right now. You got any suggestions for them?
I'll think on it.
You think on that?
I'll think on it so I don't say anything that sounds
E-block.
E-block.
Yeah.
Just
block Eagles E-block. E-rock. I didn't mean to make an E-rock joke.
No,
I thought like
it worked. It's subconsciously in your head.
So thanks for watching the show. We are on the PHLY website, but I don't have a direct link to it, but there'll be a link in the notes. And for right now, you can still go to phlycheapseats.com. to watch the show. Subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, anywhere you get your podcast. We appreciate you and we love you. And in one random bull take too, we might have to trade a linebacker and get some help out.
No.
Thanks for watching, guys.
No.
See you next week.
You can't do that at the end.
No.
We all silly like the mayor.